Breaking news on terrors of the night. Tonight, the New York State Police received numerous reports from residents about their pets being killed or kidnapped. In some cases, pets simply vanished from their homes overnight, only to be found later in the morning, far from their homes, completely drained of blood. Yes, you heard that right. Completely drained of blood. Every last drop. The first woman to call the police reported finding her cat dead in the backyard of her home. In the middle of the night, through her sleep, she heard a noise resembling a trash can falling. At first, I thought it was just the annoying raccoons again. But then a terrible, indescribable smell hit me, and a feeling of dread immediately overtook me, she told us. She instantly sensed that something was wrong and decided to check the backyard, where strange sounds continued to come from. The awful, overpowering stench was almost driving me crazy as I walked down the hallway, she told the police during the call. When she stepped into the backyard, she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw her beloved cat lying at the bottom of the pool in an unnatural position. The footage from a security camera installed in her home shows a strange creature chasing the cat near the pool just minutes before it was found dead. According to the police officers involved in the investigation, the strange creature was spotted in various locations across the state simultaneously that night. This has led to the assumption that it may not be a single creature, but rather a group of them. We are now able to show you some of the footage from security cameras where they were captured. Opinions among the residents of the state regarding who is responsible for killing the pets are deeply divided. Some witnesses claim they have seen something resembling the legendary mythical creature known as the Chupacabra. Others believe it is simply one of the many satanic cults carrying out their rituals. They are convinced that the cult members have dressed in animal costumes and are attacking any pet they come across. A third group of people thinks it's just rabid dogs that have escaped from their owners. It's definitely not satanic cults, says one witness who lost his cat forever that night. I saw it with my own eyes, he states. The man woke up to strange sounds coming from the garage. When he entered the garage, he saw the creature sitting in the darkness. Its back was covered with large, bony spikes. The body looked like a kangaroo or something similar, he says. It had almost no fur, and the worst part, the horrible stench I could smell from the bedroom. When the creature noticed him, it immediately sprang to life and ran out into the street. Where it had just been, the man's beloved cat lay lifeless in an unnatural position. A devastating loss for a pet owner who deeply loved his companion. Whether it's satanic cults or mythical creatures remains unknown. Every hour, we continue to receive videos from our viewers across the state, which we will continue to share with you throughout this report. Now, let's take a closer look at another case of a pet being killed. Right behind me is the location where one of these creatures attacked a woman who was walking her dog in a park in New York City late at night. According to her, it was just an ordinary evening, and as usual, she went for a walk with her beloved dog named Jack. As she reached a deserted and poorly lit section of the park, she noticed some suspicious movement in the bushes out of the corner of her eye. Almost immediately, a strange creature resembling a humanoid hyena appeared from the bushes, grabbed her dog by the neck, and quickly ran deeper into the park. The woman immediately contacted the police. At first, they didn't believe her, as the description of the attacking creature sounded very strange. But when several more calls with similar descriptions came into the police station within minutes, authorities had no choice but to take the case more seriously. A police squad immediately set out to search for the dog. The park is very large, so Jack was only found by morning on the other side of Central Park. According to the police, the dog appeared as though all of its life force had been drained. Its skin was so thin that its skeleton could be seen through it. Additionally, 2 large puncture wounds were found on its neck, presumably from the attacker's fangs. When experts arrived at the scene, it was determined that Jack had been completely drained of blood. Every last drop. It was as if a special machine had sucked all the blood from him. Jack's owner is currently receiving initial psychological support, as losing a pet who is both a friend and a family member is an incredibly difficult experience. Experts say that no known animal can do this. It is simply impossible to drain all the blood from an animal, down to the very last drop. Literally, every last drop. Experts are currently baffled and have not provided any definitive comments about who or what we are dealing with. Upon learning that all the animals had been drained of blood, social media quickly erupted with speculation that the attacker might be linked to the legendary mythical creature known as the Chupacabra. "I've always been sure they exist," claims Lex Tunderberg, the organizer of a community called the Unexplained around us.
"I've conducted numerous studies and warned that the day would come when they would return, but no one believed me."
According to Lex, he had repeatedly warned the authorities about this threat, but his concerns were never taken seriously. Let's briefly recall what this mythical creature, the Chupacabra, is. The first official mentions of it were made in 1995 in Puerto Rico. It was at that time that large numbers of animals were discovered completely drained of blood on numerous farms. The victims were various types of livestock, including goats. The first victims were 8 sheep, each found dead with a pair of puncture wounds in the neck where the main artery is located. After some time, the incident repeated, but on a much larger scale. This time, 150 animals were found drained of blood and killed. Soon after Puerto Rico, reports of animal deaths began to emerge from various points around the world, including Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the United States. The creature's appearance has remained a mystery. In some parts of America, it was described as a massive lizard-like creature with spines along its back and glowing red eyes. In the southwestern regions of the United States, witnesses described it more like a huge, rabid dog with demonic features. Some have reported seeing it as a creature covered in fish scales with long, bony spikes along its back. Others claimed it had an entirely alien appearance, making it difficult to accurately describe what it looked like. All of these reports were eventually dismissed due to the lack of concrete evidence. To this day, the creature is considered mythical. Another theory that was seriously considered at the time was the mutation of animals, such as dogs, due to an infection with Sarcoptes scabiei, the mange mite. It was believed that this mite alters the animal's DNA, making its body capable of digesting only blood, turning blood into its primary source of nourishment. Chupacabra can be literally translated as goat sucker, from the words chupar, to suck, and cabra, goat. But here's the question: how could it have ended up in New York, and why? Initially, the Chupacabra was known for attacking herds of sheep, cows, and other livestock on farms, killing them by the hundreds. But in New York, it won't find enough food. This immediately raises the question: will it start hunting people if it can't find enough to feed on here, if it cannot satisfy its hunger properly? Historical reports suggest that this creature could drain entire herds of blood in a single night. In New York, it's unlikely there are enough pets to replace the vast herds of livestock in terms of blood supply. According to researchers at a laboratory studying paranormal phenomena in animals, this creature may begin to attack humans once all available pets are gone. This statement has shocked many residents of New York. How are the residents planning to protect themselves? More on that later. For now, let's not jump to conclusions. Experts are currently working to understand exactly what kind of animal this is and what its next actions might be. We expect to receive more precise information about who or what we are dealing with in the near future. And right now, we're being informed that we have footage from security cameras in the New York City subway, where this creature was captured. What it was doing there and where it was heading remains a big question that authorities will continue to investigate. We can take a closer look at what it actually looks like. The first thing that stands out is the large, bone-like spikes along the creature's back. It can be assumed that it may be related to dogs, as its body has canine-like features. Another distinctive characteristic is its bright red eyes and gray skin. When I got off the train and saw it, I thought I was dreaming, that it was a nightmare, says one witness.
It looked threatening. Its eyes were glowing with a red flame and looked hungry. At one point, I thought it was the end for me, but then a rat ran out, and the creature chased after it.
Another theory circulating on the internet is that this creature is a demon, summoned by the residents of the city, here to devour all the pets whose owners don't clean up after them on the streets, and the dogs whose owners don't put muzzles on them, claiming they're sweet and don't bite. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. And please don't forget to like to help support our channel, Terrors of the Night. We are receiving numerous messages from our viewers who believe that these creatures are nothing more than failed experiments from NASA, which escaped and are now terrorizing New York. Joseph Redzinski, an expert in paranormal phenomena related to animals, believes this theory is plausible, as there have been numerous cases where people encountered unexplained creatures near NASA facilities and were unable to get any explanations from the authorities. Here are the words of one witness.
One night I was driving down a forest road near NASA when a creature suddenly appeared from the woods. It looked like a lizard, with spikes all along its back, or maybe they were protruding bones from its spine. I'm not sure. It felt like time had stopped and I was able to make out some of its details. In any case, I crashed into it. I don't know how long I was unconscious, but when I came to, I saw a horrible sight. Its spikes had punctured my hood so badly that the engine just died. The holes in the hood were the size of my fist. The windshield was full of holes as well. I immediately grabbed my gun. I remember my hands shaking like never before. I was shaking so much that I couldn't load the bullet. When I finally got out of my pickup and limped around it, there was no one there. Just the foggy road. It was already dawn and the fog was thick. I must have lost quite a bit of time unconscious. What that creature was, I have no idea. But I'm sure it was all a NASA experiment. They're always doing something over there that ends up roaming the streets and roads, attacking ordinary, decent people. And who's going to pay for the repair of my pickup, which I got from my father?
I believe the authorities are always conducting experiments on animals that we know very little about, says Joseph Redzinski, an expert on paranormal phenomena related to animals. And yet another attack. We've just been informed from the studio that the Chupacabra attacked a homeless man's dog under the Brooklyn Bridge. According to the homeless man, he heard a squeak and thought it was just rats rummaging through his things. But then he noticed that the spot where his loyal dog, named Claw, usually slept was empty. He immediately sensed something was wrong and opened his eyes. What he saw made him grab his revolver and jump to his feet. He saw the Chupacabra leaning over his dog, its fangs sunk into its neck. I'll never forget how I pulled the trigger and realized the revolver wasn't loaded. I had just kept it with me to scare off unwanted visitors, he told us. He then grabbed an empty shopping cart and charged at the creature. The creature bared its teeth and growled, but eventually ran off. It's important to note that in this case, the creature clearly differed from what we saw in the subway security camera footage. This strongly suggests that this could be a group of creatures. The fear that tonight could be the last for someone's pet has caused people to line up in huge queues for ammunition. Residents of New York are flocking to gun stores to purchase a few revolvers and shotguns. Anyone with a pet, including small ones like parrots or even pet rats, now keeps a weapon ready under their pillow. At the same time, store owners are seizing the opportunity to profit and are actively increasing their supply of weapons and ammunition. No one knows how long it will take to stop this creature, or these groups of creatures. As a result, people are buying as many rounds as they can carry. People are so concerned for the safety of their pets that they are even willing to learn how to use weapons they have never held before. According to this sweet elderly lady, she would gladly put a few bullets in the monster's backside to protect her beloved pet lizard. No one knows yet if a regular bullet can defeat this creature. Experts say it's quite possible that if this creature has mutated DNA, its skin might be bulletproof.
I'm loading up with armor-piercing rounds, cause when I come face to face with this thing, whatever the hell you want to call it, the Chupacabra or whatever, I'm dropping it with one shot. No questions asked. I've hunted bigger things, and this, it's going down.
People are also actively buying up surveillance cameras. Many hope to catch the predator on camera and make money by selling the footage to the media.
I'm setting up 49 cameras around my house. You think I'm crazy? Maybe. But hey, what won't you do for TikTok followers, right? Everyone's dying to know who's this Chupacabra. And yeah, I might even grab a few pets as bait. The more it eats, the more followers I get. You feel me?
We asked one of the laboratories to conduct an anatomical analysis of the creature using the footage from the security cameras we have so far. After a thorough image analysis, another theory emerged. It's possible these are genetically enhanced monkeys. And once again, we come back to the question, where could they have been genetically modified? And once again, the four famous letters pop into mind. NASA. NASA. What are they doing over at Area 51? That remains a big mystery. Do you think this theory holds any weight? Share your thoughts in the comments. But why is this creature specifically attacking pets? Experts say one possible reason is their weakened state. Looking back at the history of the chupacabra, most experts agree that the creatures themselves were likely infected with the Sarcoptes scabiei parasite, which weakened them. And experts suggest that we might be dealing with the same situation here. It could be that these are simply weakened animals that are unable to hunt larger prey, which might explain why they don't attack humans. The US government has already organized special units to begin the hunt for the chupacabra. How long it will take to capture it remains unknown. However, authorities are urging residents of New York to remain calm and, if possible, avoid going outside with their pets. The residents are outraged. "How are we supposed to not go outside?" asks one woman who has 16 dogs of various breeds at home. "How do you think they'll feel being stuck inside, not going for walks?" she protests. We've just learned that the first results of the animal's paw prints have come in. Experts confirm that the creature most likely has 5 fingers on its front limbs, which allows it to easily immobilize its prey. Take a close look at the behavior of this creature. You can clearly see how the chupacabra is literally playing with its prey. This video was taken around 2 a.m. 2 hours later, this cat was found drained of blood on the same street. What does this suggest? Does this creature have emotions, or is it simply engaging in ritualistic play with its victim before draining it completely of blood? So, what do we know so far? This creature is attacking pets in various situations and locations. It drains its victims of every last drop of blood. It does not attack humans. But here's the question: how many more pets will it kill before turning to their owners? This has been breaking news on Terrors of the Night. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss updates on this story and other strange, creepy, and even paranormal events happening across the country and around the world.